There he is. You tricked me, Chris. Thank you. I didn't see you snuck in. I was like, where is he? My alarm went off. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the clothing call. My name is Michelle, if you are new here. And I've got a little puppy dog helping me today, who's being kind of obnoxious. So we'll see how that goes. And we're going to talk about women's sizes today because that's always fun. I think we'll have not a huge full house. I don't know. We'll see. But if you raise your hand or put something in the chat, I will get to your questions as we go. I wanted to talk about all the weird sizes that you might come across in women's wear. So I might miss something. So holler if you think of something that you have a question about. I'm not going to talk about specific brands. I'm not going to talk about Chico's that has their own sizing. I'm not going to talk about Torrid, who has their own sizing, because there's times that you're going to come across a brand that has its own sizing chart and you can look those up online. That's not what we're talking about. I'm talking about how to read the tags on women's clothes for standardized sizing, so you don't screw it up and you don't make your customers mad. So I might touch on how to handle some of those. Yeah, probably will. I'll touch on how to handle some of those specialty sizing from like Torrid or Chico's or something like that in your titles and item specifics, but we're not going to spend too much time on them because those size charts are online and conversion charts. So let's talk about, I think I'm going to start small and then kind of move my way up. That'll work best in my brain, so I try not to miss anything. So we're going to start in the petite sizes. Let's start first though with like the history of clothing, because I've been looking this stuff up, and we all kind of get hung up, including our customers. Occasionally you'll get an email saying, I'm a true size 6 and I don't understand why this doesn't fit me. And any female knows that there's done. That's the best look ever. You're like, yeah, whatever, lady. Every woman knows there is no such thing as true sizing in this world. For menswear, it's pretty simple and pretty straightforward. Men's, small, medium, and large. There's classic cut, there's athletic cuts in men's, shirts and things like that, which will fit that chest size a little bit differently. But for the most part, your pants are fitting the same way. If it's a 32, it's probably going to be around a 32. Whereas in women's wear, that means a size 6 means nothing. So the reason for that is, back in the olden days, is that they didn't have sizes. There was no sizes. Like, everything was tailored and made for you. So when people made clothing or designers made clothing, they would measure your body and they would they would make the clothing and put it on your body. And then when they decided to standardize clothing, they would still tailor it. And this is why, like, if you look at very wealthy people, they have no idea what size they are. Because what happens is, if you're very wealthy, is that you go in and they will fit like a pair of pants, let's say a pair of pants, to the widest part of your body, usually your hips. They will put them on you, and then they tailor everything to make it fit all the rest of you. So there's no gap. There's no like flare in a weird place. The hems aren't skirting across the floor. You don't have this weird crotch area that's either saggy baggy elephant crotch or camel toe. Like everything is made to fit based on a woman's largest part of her body, which is generally her hips, but everything is tailored, so everything looks really nice on them, and they don't know their size because they don't care, because that's not the way they're having their clothes tailor made. So, but when they standardized sizing, designers were able to kind of make up their own stuff. One designer's size 6 is completely different than another designer's size 6. They follow kind of generalized rules, but generally, and you can also have a designer that has a size 6 in one cut of a dress, and it's completely different in another cut of a dress. So one of the things that I harp on constantly is please do not use size charts online, standardized size charts, to determine the size of the outfit that you're looking at, because standardized size charts do not work. For one thing, standardized size charts, even from the designer that you're looking at. So let's say I have, let's use Free People, for example, because most people know how Free People is. Free People is a bohemian type brand. And if you were to look at one of their size charts and say, okay, so this is a size, this has to be like a large, extra large, because if I look at the size chart, it's saying that a small is a 36 bust line. Well, the 36 bust line is based on what the measurement of the human being that would fit in that, not the measurement of the clothing. Because Free People has things that are very fitted, and Free People also has things that's overly, like crazily slouchy. And they're both the same size. You can have a small, very fitted, like little cami top, and you can have a way oversized sweater, and they're both a size small. They're going to measure completely differently. So the size chart for Free People is going to be based on the body that fits into it. So what you're supposed to do with that size chart is measure your bust line, measure your waist, and then determine what size you are, because that's what they're using as their mannequin size to fit that piece of clothing onto. So it's not the size of the clothing, it's the size of the person inside of it. So don't use a size chart to figure out what size your clothing is. If you've got something that doesn't have a size in it, you need to find something similar on eBay with similar measurements and compare it. Something with tags in it that has a size tag in it and measurements on. I usually go to eBay, try and find a comparable item and compare my size. So after a while, you get pretty good about eyeballing it and saying, okay, so this looks like it's about a size 10 pants in Eileen Fisher. So you go to Eileen Fisher, you go to your left-hand navigation menu, pick off size 10, and just double check yourself. But that's how you figure out what size you are, or what size the pair of pants that you're looking at or the shirt that you're looking at is. So you try to find those comps. So, okay, that's my spiel. The history of clothing and the reason that size charts suck. I want to go through some of the weird sizing that you might come across. The first one is pretty rare, but it comes up occasionally, and everybody always has questions about it. If you have something that comes up as just in a women's, it's usually in women's tops. I don't think I've ever seen it in pants. It's just a size P. And people go, what the heck is this? I don't understand what it means to be just a size P. And generally speaking, that's a little bit smaller than a small, but not quite. So it's like a petite small, but like something in between a petite and a small. So it may be cut a little bit slimmer through the waist, but it's still like a small, extra small kind of in there. So that's how I generally describe it. So I'll put size, Liz Claiborne, top, shirt, size P, black, blah, blah, blah. And then in the description, I'll say size P cuts a little bit slimmer than a size small. Please note the measurements is usually how I do the verbiage on that. Sarah, the same thing is with a junior small. They're slimmer through the bust line and the hip. And that's the verbiage that I put in there. And there's juniors usually have like Candies as a junior's brand. There's junior's brand, but we'll go over like junior sizing too. Cheryl's claiming she's a true size 6. Cheryl, you are? Really? Nice. Me too. I'm a true size 6. I don't understand why these pants don't fit me. Dang it. I know. What's wrong? True size 6 here. Landon, don't laugh.
6 foot wide.
6 6 feet thick, baby. Okay. So
sorry. Can I ask you a question about what you just talked about?
Yes.
You said, okay, if it's a size P, you put that note that it cuts a little smaller than regular small. Please check measurements for proper fit or whatever. But what about on the sizing for eBay? Did you say that you put P in there, or do you put small in there?
I'm not sure if it's available in
the drop
eBay
down.
sizing. If it's not in the drop down, I would put extra small.
Extra small. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Just to cover yourself. Okay. So then you've got your petite sizes. So petite sizes will come up, they'll show up as like a 0P, a 2P, a 4P, or sometimes, or like a SP, small petite, medium petite, MP. I've noticed a lot of people are getting confused though, especially with small petite. And I've seen a lot of even women that are getting confused by that, because there is an SP, which is a small petite, and that's S and P smushed together, no dash. And then sometimes you'll have S/P. And the P on S/P is a Spanish word for small. So it's to cover the Spanish market. It is not a petite. It is a small. So if it's smashed together and it says PS or SP, smashed together, no dashes, no anything, no space, nothing, then that would be a small petite. If it's got a dash or it's got an S on this side and a P on this side of the tag, that means that it's a small. Any separation of the S and the P means that P is the Spanish word for petite. Paquito, I think, or Paquita, Paquina. Thank you, Tech. And that means that it's a petite size. So I've seen a lot of people that are putting all their smalls as small petites, and they're really not. So if you've been doing that, you need to go back, and because your stuff will sell a lot faster if it's just a small. Oh, Josh is a true size 6 too. Pequino. Okay.
Pequeño.
Pequeño. Thank you. I don't speak Spanish, obviously. All right. So let's see. So we got small petites. We've done our small, medium, and larges. Sometimes you will come across a size. Okay, so we've done the petites. We've got our straight sizes. Straight sizes are even sizes. So this would be like under the item specific regular sizes. So we've done our petites. We're going to go regular sizes, which are size 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, all the even sizes, small, medium, large, extra large, and 2 extra large. That's 2XL. Okay. Not 2X, not 1X, but 2XL. Those are straight sizes. Those are regular sizes. And those are easy enough to figure out. Junior sizing is odd. So odd sizes are your 1s, 3, 5, 7, 9s. What are you two laughing about? Do I need to separate you?
Who's oh?
You
Yeah.
and Dawn. I can see
in
you.
on my screen, she's right below me. I didn't realize that.
I can see you.
It's all good,
Don't-
Michelle. We're
Don't make me separate you girls.
good
We're
luck
all
with
good.
that.
We got a handle.
All right, junior sizing. Junior sizing is kind of funny. So if you see a odd size, like a 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, thank you, Josh. We've moved on. We're moving on, buddy. Okay. Junior sizing, so that will fall in junior sizing on eBay. So the way I title those, I'll say, because I want to cover the word juniors and I want to cover the word women's, right? Because juniors are still women. That doesn't mean that they're little kids. That means that they're young women, usually with smaller boobs and smaller hips. So junior sizing fits a little bit differently. It's cut a little bit slimmer with women that haven't had kids and haven't done the midlife spread. So you're cracking me up, Don. Quit laughing, man. Stop. All right. So I will title it like Ann Taylor Women's Top. Thank you, Cheryl. Ann Taylor Women's Top, or actually Ann Taylor's a bad one to use. Let's say Candy's. Candy's Women's Top size 3, junior size 3, sorry. And then I'll put my keywords in there. Pink, plaid, long sleeve, whatever. So I try to hit the women's and juniors. And then in your item specifics, you want to click off juniors instead of regular, and then make sure to put it as a junior size. That, and then in the description, I have a little blurb that says junior sizing runs slimmer through the bust and the hip. Please check your measurements. Just to cover because somebody is going to complain, especially once you get into the bigger sizes, like the junior size large and extra large in those junior brands. Women get a little cranky when they don't fit on their hips. Okay, so we've hit junior sizes, we've hit regular sizes. Let's go into women's sizes. So we're going to go into plus sizes now. Now, plus sizes, remember I said that regular sizes can go up to 1XL and 2XL. those are women's regular 1XL and 2XL are regular sizing. When you do 1X or you do a 2X without the L, that is plus size. So those are going to be cut a little bit wider through the hip. So sometimes you've got, okay, sure. Yeah, we'll talk about that too. Eric, I thought. So when you've got a 1X or a 2X, or you have something that says 0X or anything like, or 20, like let's say you have something that comes up as like a size 22. Size 22 is regular versus 22W, which would be women's sizes. You're not going to come across it usually in a 22. It's usually like an 18, 14 and 18 as it starts transitioning. But if it's got a W behind it, that means women's, which is plus size. Okay. So anything that ends in just X or ends in a W is a plus size. Cuts, and they're cut a little bit wider in the hip and the bust line to accommodate middle-age spread or chunky monkey spread. La la la. 0X is one of those weird sizes too that people often have a question about. It's kind of like P. It's an in-between size. It's kind of the in-between between an extra large and a 1X. So it's cut maybe a little bit wider, but, or excuse me, a large and a 1X. So it's cut, it's like a plus size large. Let's say that. Okay. So it's cut a little bit, it's like cut like a large with a little bit wider through the hip, a little bit wider through the bust line. And they will call it a 0X, a plarge. A plarge. Was that your plus size question, Cheryl? What's your plus size question while we're here?
Recently, I came across something I'd never seen before, and I think it was a petite plus size.
Yeah.
So that just didn't, I mean,
petite people are not skinny necessarily. They
oh,
can
no. I understand that part. I
need to cover that. That's actually probably a good idea to cover that, but go ahead.
It just seemed really, it didn't seem like it was a top. It didn't seem like it was overly short-waisted. To me, it looked like a normal plus size top.
Do you remember what the length on it was? Because plus size is going to be a little bit longer length, so it covers all of our lumpy bits. So usually a plus size top is going to run about, like, to cut at the waist, a plus size top is going to run at least 26 inches versus to hit at the waist, if you're a large, would be about 23 inches.
Well, in this particular case, it was like a pajama top. So
okay.
I can probably find it and show it to you.
So petites are smaller. They're shorter through the torso. So you can have a plus size petite. You can have a regular size petite. You can have a junior size petite. It means that it's cut shorter through the torso or shorter through the leg. And then in pants, short and petite are interchangeable, sort of. Like, not technically, they're not. Short means just short legs. I've got short legs. And petite means that I'm shorter through the torso and shorter through the legs. But on eBay, you can use them interchangeably. So, Cheryl sharing. Let's see. Your chest is 33. Sleeve length 24. 31 inches.
So I guess the pants were are on the shorter side. I mean, but they're pajamas.
Yeah,
so-
the inseam was 27. So that's where your petite comes in, probably. They just cut it a little bit shorter.
Okay. I had never seen that before.
Yeah.
My pictures look really, it's like stuff doesn't want to come up. But the tag actually reads P3X.
Yeah.
So I did have that right though.
Yep. It's a petite.
Okay.
Petite plus. Yep. So the 37 would have probably been, if it was in a regular size, it probably would have been a full length 39 or 29-30.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Sometimes when you get to the loungewear, it's a little vague. And it usually comes down to inseam size. Maybe shorter through the torso too, the rise. Well, you've got 16 inches though. It's a pretty good rise. Anyway, no, you did it exactly right. Okay, where were we? Plus sizes. We've hit the plus sizes. I hit the 0X's. Everybody understands what the W means now after number, right? So that's women's sizes, which is plus size. Some brands are just automatically plus size, like Lane Bryant is a plus size clothing brand. So they don't designate using the W, but Lane Bryant is always known as a plus size because that's all they sell. So you can put the W on those. Same thing with Torrid. Torrid is a plus size brand. So when you designate it on there, Torrid uses specialty sizes like 1, 2, 3, 4 on their clothing quite often. So I'll put Torrid size 1 and then in parentheses 1X. Plus size 1X, just so people understand that they're, and then in the item specifics, I'll put it as a plus size 1X. Chico's, I will put, they have their own specialty sizes. I keep a chart up for Chico's. So like their size 1 is a medium or a size 8. So if I have a size 1 Chico's, and it's a shirt, I will put it as a size 1 regular medium in the title. If it's pants, women want numbers in their pants and letters in their tops. So if it's a pants, I'll put size 1, regular size 8 in the title. And then I'll put the regular sizing in the item specifics. Because a Chico's shopper will find them that way. Okay, so we've covered that. Let's cover some of the weird ones that happen. Okay, jeans. We've covered this in the jean call, but I want to go through it again just because I want it all in one place for people that struggle with jean sizes. There's 2 different ways that designers will size jeans. They do it in that 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, which is juniors. They do it in the 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, which is regular. They do it in the plus sizes. And then sometimes you'll find designer jeans, which are a little bit higher end, that will have like a 25 or 26 or 27. Lucky Brand is one of those specialty brands that Eric was just asking about. Lucky Brand has a size, we'll say size 4/27. Those 2 numbers are interchangeable. So That's not, the inseam is not 27. But a size 4 and a size 27 are approximately the same size. Where people get confused, and men and women get confused on this, is in jeans. If you get one that's sized 27 and you know that they're women's jeans, if they're Lucky Brands and they say 427, or they're just a size 27 or a size 28, and you got to measure the waist and you're like, wait a minute, these don't measure like a 20. This isn't a 27. It says it's a 31. These are wrong. No, they're not. Stop. That's the way they're supposed to be. Because when they make the sizing and when they make standardized sizing, and the numbered sizing is a little more standardized than the numbered sizing with the 25, 26, 27 is a little more standardized than the regular sizing. What they're saying is that if this pair of pants fit at a woman's waist, it would be a 27, but they're low rise. So they may measure 31 because they're low rise, but if they were up at her waist, they would be a 27, which is about a size 4 or 5. Okay. So if you don't try to resize anything. They are not stretched out. They are not wrong. A woman knows what size she is if she uses numbered sizes. So what you do is you just put size 27 in there. You click off the item specific of size 27, and then you put your actual measurements in the listing or in the item specifics. Okay. So that's how the jeans work in women's wear. They're weird. I know, you have to figure it out. And I know guys are like, why? And it's because most jeans on men fit at your waist, because you guys have like straight up and down waists. Women have hips, so it makes it vary a little bit. I know, Cheryl, that's why I wear soft pants too. Or you can just like be a woman like us and we just wear soft pants and we don't worry about it. Eric, did you have a question? I saw your hand up.
Nope, you answered it. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Sarah, size 22, always a plus size. Yeah, I would call a 22 probably a plus size, because if you're getting into the 22s, you're probably looking at a Lane Bryant or something that is already a plus size designer. Usually the only questionable ones are like the 14, 16s, 18s, which could go either way. And that's where regular sizing stops. So if you have a 14W, that's a plus size 14. If you have just a straight 14, it's going to be a regular size 14. Cut as a regular 14. 14W is going to be a little bit wider through the hip and the bust. Okay. Did I answer your question, Sarah, on the junior size small and regular Mrs. Small?
Yeah, you said it's smaller through the bust and the waist. So
yep.
I guess I get a lot of things that are, I think I know some of the brands, but then there's, brands like Vanity. Do they have juniors? And do they have some misses according to their website? So then I get a little confused if it's actually juniors. But if it looks smaller, I've been marking it as a juniors.
Yeah.
So,
if it's small through that bust line, I would call it a juniors and size it accordingly. So
cool. Thanks.
Also, don't count on when you're measuring women's shirts, like the styles change every 2 to 3 years. Styles are getting much looser right now. So you're going to find some things that are super oversized. And you're gonna be like, this is totally can't be a large because it is measuring out like a 3X. But girls and women like to wear their stuff really slouchy right now. And then the styles will change back and they'll start tightening back up again. But for right now, everything is super oversized. And that is the style. So like definitely don't change the size on those. Don't start fooling around with stuff like that. If in doubt, you can always ask the room, like go to the Facebook page and throw it up there and say, is this missized or is it okay? Or you can come in this 24-hour room and ask me. I don't care. But for the most part, those big oversized things are on purpose. So. Let's see. Yes. Maya's asking, do you use oversized and slouchy as keywords? Yes, I like oversized. Oversized is also in the features under item specifics. So you can do slouchy. I use flowy. Flowy is a really good keyword for that kind of style. Anything that like skims over all the parts that we don't want to have showing off to the entire world. Love this style. Call it the COVID lumpy bit style. All right, let me see. Dawn says she has a men's button-down shirt, extra large C. That's a new one. Tech, do you know what that means? I've never seen a C.
Custom.
Is that Spanish? Is it all mushed together, Dawn?
What's the brand?
The Untuck It shirt.
If you get one of those weird ones, look at their
I tried looking at their website and it has nothing with a C at the end of it.
I wonder if a C could be designated as their big and tall, maybe.
Because I sold
Where-
it once and the woman said that it was way too big for her husband, which normally wears a 3XL.
I wonder if it's just cut wider on the Untuck It. Is somebody looking it up? Does anybody know? Eric, do you know?
No, I was just Googling XXXLC and the only thing that came up was Untuck It. So it's probably brand specific, but I have not found out what it meant.
Let's look. We're going to go to Untuck It. If in doubt, go to their size chart.
Maybe it means like classic cut, like classic fit, possibly. I mean,
Oh, maybe classic. That could be Landon Good Smart. Classic cut versus like an athletic cut. Find your fit. Let's see.
since I said that, what is the difference in regular and classic? I've always wondered.
Classic is going to be cut a little bit roomier than a regular. Classic is like the old fashioned cut a little bit wider through the shoulder.
Almost like a box cut.
You know, the old fashioned kind of.
On their size chart, it says it under test sports jackets. It looks like it's almost like a larger chest size because there's XXL, then there's XXLC in the under jackets.
Oh, there you go. Let's go back here.
But there's not one under the shirts, right? It was just under the jackets.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
there's
that's
one
what I
for
thought.
polos. Under the polo sizes. It must just be like the extra large.
It looks like they
Times
have a
four.
They have a relaxed fit one in the shirts too. So I'm wondering if that's their relaxed fit. So it's more of a go to their pillows really quick.
It's also in sweaters and sweatshirts.
Yeah, it's in,
And everything except for the button downs.
then that's what you have.
That's what I have, yep.
Of course.
I feel like it's just like a 2XL, 3XL, and like a 4XL, but instead of having 4 X's.
You just
They
put the
have
C
the
behind
C.
it.
Well, their relaxed fit on the shirts it says the relaxed fit is cut bigger through the chest. So I'm thinking that might be like a classic fit, regular fit.
If you look at all of them, everyone, the chest and the neck is slightly bigger on the C, and the sleeve length is the same
Okay.
as the 3X.
There you go. Our crack investigative team. Untuck It sells pretty well though, so that's good. So it's vanity sizing for bigger guys. Instead of having to go up a size.
It's also if you have a bigger chest, shoulders because of muscle, if you have more muscles, maybe that could be it.
That's what I was gonna say. I have that same issue. My pecs and my arms. I was
I
thinking the
know
same
it's
thing.
really hard to find clothes that will fit that. How hard? I'm sorry, Landon. This is terrible.
My husband has that issue with, if he gets it in a size that fits up here, it's too big in his waist.
Right.
It looks like he's gonna bust out of his shirt.
Yeah, I'm in the Ninja Warrior community, and a lot of women have the problem where they're small, their clothes fit small, but they have too big shoulders and arms and back muscles.
Oh, Torrid hit this, Josh hit what exactly the piece that I was missing in sizing. Okay, so talls. Sometimes you're going to come across a tall size. They're rare, but I always pick up the tall size because tall girls are out there. Women sometimes are tall. And you want to designate there is a tall section. So there's petites, regulars, plus, and tall. And once you click off the tall, it'll come up with 22 tall. So Josh is saying he's got a 22T. Does this mean tall? Yes. And the inseam is measured at 29.5. So those are ankle pants, ankle or cropped. So women, you have to remember that, sometimes I've seen a couple of questions in the group where guys are like, why are these so short? It's because women wear capris. Capris are, so we wear skimmer shorts, which are like right at the knee. And then so those are kind of like your Bermudas. And then we will also wear capris, which are kind of hit at the calf. And those are run about 23 inches on a normal size height woman, or an average height woman. And then your 25, 26s are going to be your boyfriend jeans and your cropped pants. And then your full length is around 30 inches. And then your tall sizes are usually over 30 inches, unless there's a couple of brands that run long. Designer brands often run long because they expect that women will have them professionally hemmed. So, and then there's some brands that just run tall so you can wear out the backs of the hems. Like 7 for All Mankind flip-flop jeans. Our dojos are made for having that worn out hem. That's part of the look. So once you wear them for a while, they've got that flare and you wear them as, with your flip flops, and you wear out the back of them, and that's part of the look. So, and Ashley's saying, yeah, tall girls struggle to find clothes. All of my sisters, I am a daughter from another father. And so all my sisters are giants next to me. They're very, very tall and skinny and blonde. And I'm like 5'7" and short next to them. So they're all 5'9" and above. And they have a really terrible time finding pants that are long enough. So definitely pick up the tall ones. They don't sit for very long in my store. So that's one of the things that I will pick up a lot, because one, there's not very many designers that make tall sizes. So it's something that I will generally pick up. Let's see. Oh. Are you tall, Cheryl? How tall are you?
5'9",
Oh, you are tall.
but it's all leg. I got a 34-inch inseam.
Holy moly. Okay. It is all leg. Average woman is like 30 inches. So you have like an extra 4 inches of leg. You're like giraffe legs. Goodness. That's cool. All right.
It wasn't when
Well-
I was younger.
No, probably not.
Regular pants fit now.
Yeah.
But back in the day, it was
Rodeo pants. You had to go to the rodeo store and get your pants.
no, they didn't. They just got the size that fit me in the waist, and then they were just too short, and so everybody teased me.
What you do is you just roll them and pretend they're like paddle pushers. That's, yeah. Ashley says they're supermodel legs. There you go. Could have been a leg model, Cheryl, in another life. All right. Anybody else think of something that they've come across that they're not sure of? 'Cause I'm trying to remember anything. Or if you have any questions, general questions about eBay, I can answer those too. Yeah. The very shorts. If you come across pants that are hemmed, my rule of thumb, like for very short people, I will still list them. But I put especially in women's wear, I'll put the inseam. Definitely put your measurements in the item specifics, because people will search by their own measurements. The actual measurements. If they're men's pants and they've been hemmed more than an inch, I will put the actual measurements in the title as well, because that is your customer. So let's say they're 34 32s and they're hemmed to a 29 inch. I will put 34 29 in the title as the size. And I will put 34 29 in the actual measurements and in the size. And then in the description, I will put professionally hemmed, tagged 34 32, but actual measurements are 34 29. If it's less than an inch, I will put the regular size, the tagged size in the title, actual measurements in the item specifics, because you always put actual measurements in the size item specifics. And then just list them normally. So, because that's normal shrinkage versus they've been altered or they've got a really weird size. They've shrunk strangely. What's up, Tom?
Hi. What is the difference between a miss and a juniors in pants? Is that the same thing, misses and juniors?
Yeah. What brand? I think it's just a brand specific.
Well, for a pair of Levi's jeans, for instance, it'll say 12 Miss and then letter M. So I assume M stands for medium length.
Yeah. So those are just regular.
Okay. So a Miss is a woman's, not a junior.
It depends on the brand. I know
Okay.
it's so confusing. Mrs. generally though is a women's sizes, like a normal women's sizes, whereas juniors, they'll say juniors.
Okay. Thank you.
We haven't done a deep dive. Nobody wants to do a deep dive on Levi's because that company is like 150 years old and we'd be here for days, Josh. Days. There is a Levi's Facebook group though, and it's public and they're awesome. So if you have questions about like figuring out Levi's, you can always post it to, if you just do a Facebook search for Levi's research. I think it's called the Levi's research group or something like that.
I've got a
What's
question.
up, Heidi? Hang
Go
on a
ahead.
second.
No, that's fine.
Heidi's got her hand up.
It's okay, if somebody wants to go next. I had a question about, you were talking about the actual waist measurement on a women's pants can be just, not actual because that maybe it's a low riding pant or something and the waist is higher up. So then you just said something recently about actual waist size going in the list, on the listing and the items
That's for
specific.
men.
So
That's
what
for
if
men. That's for
but-
men.
you don't do that for women? Or
No.
didn't you just say that you'll put that, like if the, you know what I'm saying, the size is different, you'll put it
No.
in the title and then you're in the item specifics, you'll put the actual waist measurement. So what if the
That-
waist measurement is really
Heidi?
not, you know what I'm
Heidi?
saying? Mhm.
That's for men.
So for
The only
women,
time for women, if it says it's a size 26, it's a size 26.
so what do you put in the waist measurement?
The actual measurements, your item specifics will always have the actual measurement.
Right, like I was saying, so if it's
But I don't
a,
change the title.
if it's a low riding pant though, isn't the actual waist measurement something smaller?
No,
So how do you define the waist measurement? You pull it as tight as you can, the pant, and then, or just lay it flat
No.
so it's relaxed? How do you?
lay
put
it,
this-
lay it. How do you measure waist size by laying a pair of jeans flat
Mhm.
and measuring it straight across
And,
and doubling it.
right, but do you pull it tight or do you leave it kind of just natural? Do you know what
Well,
I'm saying?
I mean,
'Cause you can-
I'm not gonna have it super wrinkly, but I'm not gonna like, I just, like normal.
Okay.
I'm not gonna pull it tight because no one wants to wear a pair of jeans that's that tight because that
Okay.
hurts.
Okay.
So like I pull it
And-
to, just like you measure anything else, you know,
Yeah, and then
you lay
unless
it,
it's
you
unless
lay it
it's a
flat, you
big
measure
gap-
it, you double
yeah.
it.
So unless it's a big gap of like more than an inch, you're not gonna change it.
I don't
from
do
the-
anything with women's. I'm talking about that. What I just said about changing the title and doing that is men's only.
Okay, I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
thought we were talking about women's only, so it threw me. Okay,
Yeah, no, that's only in men's.
okay.
No, we talk about men's and women's here because like menswear sometimes throws you for a loop. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay,
Well, and low rise, yeah. So like Mitch is saying, I'm talking about low rise. Yeah. So you're gonna put that they're low rise in the listing too. So, and men's low rise, because men are more straight up and down in their measurements. So men's low rise isn't gonna have that much of a variance and difference in your waist measurement versus your hip measurement, because y'all don't come in like that. All right, Landon, did you have a question?
Yeah, you actually segued right into it because I was going to ask about rise. They have, I mean, and I know it's determining on how high it's sitting on their waist, but the rise for a skirt, it's an item specifics. Like, how do you judge that? Like, without seeing it?
99.9% of the time I put that it's a mid-rise
Okay.
because that's the dumbest thing
Unless
ever.
unless you just know it's a really high waisted skirt.
If it's, yeah, so like there's a couple of pencil skirts that I have that have a really wide waistband and they come up like this. They're almost like a like an old-fashioned pencil skirt where they're gonna come up higher on the waist and you can really see it.
Right.
Those
where
are high
you
waist.
can really judge by the hips.
You can see the hip. They're pencil skirts. They're not just elastic waist skirts, but they're pencil skirts, and then they have a really fitted waist that comes up like that a little bit. Those are high rise. And then if they have like an absurdly wide waistband where the waistband isn't shot, but like free people sometimes will do a low rise skirt where it's meant to fit a little bit lower on the hip. I'll put those as low rise, but I'll also say in the description, because women will get that skirt and they'll say, this is way too big for me. So I'll put in the description, this is a low rise skirt and meant to ride a little bit lower on your hip. So they know.
And if somebody does ask for a hip measurement and I want to give it to them, do I measure that like pretty much at the widest?
Yep.
Okay.
And then sometimes I don't usually put in skirts. I usually don't put a hip measurement. You can, if you really want to. It's not one that I don't get very many questions about skirts and hip measurements for some strange reason. You would think I would, because I sell a lot of pencil skirts, but most people are pretty small in that genre, like small through the hip, so it doesn't bother them. They know what size they are. It's usually the bigger gals because as a woman gains weight, she may gain weight in her stomach or she may gain weight in her hips. We're all built differently. So that's why, like when I was talking about tailored clothing, that it gets a little bit weird because like some women have really big hips and a really tiny waist, or they're really thick through the stomach and then they have little tiny chicken legs. And so, we're all built a little bit differently. So clothes are going to fit us very strangely sometimes. That's why I think free returns, especially in women's clothing, is a must. We gotta service these customers because we've all been in a dressing room and something looked really, really cute on a hanger or on the mannequin. And then we put it on our real body and we go, oh dear God, this will never do. Because my body does not look like that mannequin. All right. Who's next? Any questions? We can talk about sizing. We can talk about eBay. We can talk about anything you want to talk about. What, Nelson? Is that your pimp vest?
I don't know what this is.
Is that your new pimp vest?
It's a girl size. So
there you go. Oh, fancy.
I gotta pop my collar with it though.
Yeah, definitely. You need a hat.
Where's my money? I gotta get that sweet voice. Hey girl, how you doing? No, where's my money though? Memphis pimping. Pimping is pimping.
Oh my God. Your wife is obviously not. Yeah, you bite your lip.
Yeah, you gotta bite your lip when you say that. It's like, hey girl.
Hey girl. Where's my money? We're awful in here. We're the weirdest people. Okay. Kate's asking about European sizes. Yeah, European sizes, that's an appropriate time to go look up the size chart to compare them. So if you come across like Japanese sizes are usually in centimeters. And European sizes are just weird. So if you come across something that's strange that doesn't look like a real size, or comes across is that it says it's made in Italy and it says it's like a size 44 and it's women's and obviously not a blazer jacket for a guy, then you can go to the European size chart and find the conversion for what it is in US sizes. If you come across something that is like, sometimes I come across things that are, and the tags look fancy. So sometimes you'll bring home like a Asian offshoot Wish brand. Somebody bought it off a Wish and it didn't fit. So they threw it off to you can either get rid of them or you can sell them. So like I will do my best to sell them as Japanese streetwear, and I've sold a lot of it that way, honest to God, and for good prices. So I'll sell it as Japanese streetwear or Korean streetwear.
You can use a good keyword for that is kawaii. It's Kawaii. It's kind of spelled like Hawaii, and that means cute in Japanese. So a lot of like, so that's a pretty decent keyword.
And then I will put the size that they say, but I also put US size in there. So like if it says that it's for a Japanese, it's Japanese. If you do a Google Lens, it'll tell you what the translation is. So that's where I find out whether it's Korean or Japanese. I will put, Korean size 4XL, US size, large, because that's ridiculous. Sometimes if it's really ridiculous like that, most large women in the US do not want to wear a 4XL. I will clip that size out of there. And that's the only time I will clip a size is if it's an Asian size. And then I sell it to the US for Japanese streetwear or Korean streetwear.
If it's a 4X in Chinese, so you mean like it's a size 10, 12?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Is that like how Banana Republic fits really slim on men? Like their larges are super mediums.
Banana Republic is not an Asian Wish company, so I'm thinking
But it runs small as a brand.
Banana Republic? No, but they have athletic sizes, so they're meant for younger men than you.
Yeah, slimmer.
Slimmer through the chest.
Yeah.
Not so thick. You're thick. With a double C, thick. Not the dad. You have a little bit of a dad bod now, Nelson. So you cannot wear the athletic wear anymore. Sorry. Things have shifted.
All the lumpy bits come out. The lumpy bits come out on the side.
They do. Yeah. So a guy turns like 30, 35, and then all of a sudden you get love muffins on the side. And nothing is like as firm as it used to be. And you may be the same size-ish, but you got a little love muffin.
Did I buy nursing pants again?
Oh, did you get some scrubs?
I got a lot of capris, and these are Dana Buckman's.
Okay. Those are not scrubs. That's a real brand.
And that's not nursing home pants as we called them earlier. No offense to them.
Are they pull on? You can. I don't use nursing home pants as a
That's what
as
you
a
told me I
keyword.
bought. I didn't know. I don't know what to call.
Dana Buckman is though an older woman's brand. It's an older woman's office brand. So
Oh, that's
an
what it's
older
called.
woman in a nursing home. But those are like just regular dress pants.
Yeah, they felt like office lady at the school where my wife worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
Okay.
that's the school secretary that's wearing those.
Yeah. That's what it felt
Alfred
like.
Dunner.
Alfred Dunner. Yeah.
Oh,
My
okay.
grandma used to my grandma used to love Alfred Dunner at Marshall Fields.
Alfred Dunner sells.
Yes, it
Does it
does.
really?
Oh
Yeah.
my.
Really?
Oh my.
Okay.
It still sells. It does. It does.
It sells well.
First issue.
Especially the
of Liz-
bigger sizes.
First
Dana
issue. of
Buckman
Liz
used to be
Fairboy.
very fancy though. It's not so fancy anymore. Go ahead. What? Those are
First
capris.
issue, a Liz Claiborne company.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that either.
It's
But
Liz
this-
Claiborne.
This seems like, yeah, definitely like workwear because it's got the little
Uh-huh.
like, formal clip.
Those are dress capris.
What
I
is this
believe.
called?
That's a hook hook and eye.
This is a hook
Just
and
a
eye.
hook.
Okay.
Hook. I just say a hook closure.
Hook closure. Okay, this is the hook and eye.
Chris says he's not going to let the dad bod happen. It'll happen whether you want it to or not. One day you'll wake up and you'll just have like little muffin bits hanging off the side. You won't know what to do.
If you ever
Okay.
want to track your calories, you'll see how bad it gets so quickly.
Mitch said his started at 41. My brother was very, very fit, super, super fit. And then he turned like 32. And all of a sudden things started coming out the sides and he was like, ah, made him have to go start working out. All right. Josh is saying when I measure an inseam of a pants and it's short, what's the difference between capri and crop? Okay, cropped is capris are about 23 inches on average, unless they're petites. And then your crops are going to be about 25, 26, somewhere in there.
Michelle,
Yes.
what's this black and white pattern called again? I can never remember. It's like
Is it
mixed-
tweed?
It's not. They're shorts.
Oh,
so it's not
marled?
tweed.
Auntie,
Marled? Is it a knit? Is it a sweater?
No, it's shorts.
Oh.
What the heck is it called again? I can't remember. Why am I having a brain?
Are they fleece?
No, it's like a weird. It's polyester and rayon.
Are
is
they
it
knit?
knitting company?
Is it tinsel or tinsel?
Oh,
Hold them up,
maybe.
Patty. Are they knit?
I guess you would call them knit.
Are they slub?
What the heck does that mean?
Well, slub is like probably not slub. No, that's not. Gingham is checks.
Yeah,
They're like either marled or heathered.
heathered. There you go. That's what I was
Know
looking
what you're
for.
thinking of? Okay.
Yep. Okay.
All right, Janine, you're up.
Thank you. Okay, so I have a question. Anything that you can do to like when they put the stupid tags in the wrong place and they get a hole from the tag? Just is there anything you could do like to help reduce the size of it or
Washing it helps sometimes.
yeah.
But if it's a knit, sometimes you can stitch it. Just put like one stitch in it and it'll close it up and you can't tell that it was there.
Okay.
One tiny little stitch. Just make sure you don't go up and all the way, so you do it from the back side. So you're
Okay.
just stitching the back threads of it.
Okay.
And it closes up the hole without leaving a mark.
Yeah, I missed it when I was like, sometimes I try to check and see how bad those are, but
If
when
it's not a great
okay.
brand, I just throw it back into the sea.
Yeah, it's a pretty
'Cause-
decent brand. So
If it's a good brand, I'll try to like put a little stitch in it or wash, if you wash it, sometimes it'll close up the hole and you
yeah,
can't
that's
see
what
it.
I'm going to try to do. It's linen, so I don't know.
Yeah. Or just get that spot wet and let it dry.
What's that?
See if it- Just get that
Oh,
spot
spot
wet.
wet. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
And then maybe take a little hair dryer to it and see if you can get it to.
Okay,
get it
I just
to-
didn't know if you had a secret tip or anything. So
No, I can't magically put fabric back together. I'm sorry. I know.
can't. No.
I know. I run
All right.
miracles all the time, and that's one of them I've never figured out. I don't know.
Thanks.
One tiny stitch on the backside usually will make it invisible. You'll feel a tiny little, you'll feel the little knot on the inside, but you can't tell from the outside that there's anything there. And the person will just assume that it's like, they're not going to notice. So I wouldn't even say anything about it. Yeah, Josh is saying sometimes you can rub the material together, it'll close up. Yeah, fabric glue. Yeah, fabric glue is really messy. Fabric glue is great for putting two pieces of fabric together.
Okay, I have a question then.
Tough for holes. What's up?
So I keep coming across, and I've just been donating or trashing, but if you have, well, this one's not a good example, but if you have a seam like this, where it's just folded over and it's probably glued, and it's come apart.
Yeah.
And I don't want to trash the whole thing if it's just, if I can just, well, this one's not a good example.
So it's not stitched, it's just glued?
Not stitched.
Okay.
It's just smoothed over the edge. And
Then
it's
you
just
could
this
get some
little bitty
fabric glue.
spot.
Yeah. So they sell fabric glue on Amazon is what Cheryl's talking about. And you just put a couple little, like a little skinny, you want to use it sparingly because it'll make the fabric stiff, but in that instance, that's a good thing to use it for.
Does anybody know anything other than fabric glue that I could use?
Stitch Witch, if you want to try
Yeah,
that.
that
But
was
I probably
that was
wouldn't.
gonna be my
Right?
I
suggestion.
probably wouldn't try Stitch Witch just because you'd have to iron it down, and that might actually burn the fabric. You
It's
know
like
that
the fusible interface stuff.
exactly.
Okay.
You could even use like a blow dryer with stitch witchery. I've done
Oh.
some witchery. So you
Done
don't have to
some-
like actually get a hot iron on it. You could just make it hot enough to melt that stuff and stick it to itself.
On a bra though, Cheryl, I
emergencies,
would
it works.
probably get a fabric glue.
Oh, on
gonna
a
last
bra,
you a
I would
little longer.
definitely glue it. Yep.
Because it's thick fabric and it's not going to be stiff there if it's thick fabric. Or
So
padded.
then generally I've been getting rid of, but this one just, there's this little bitty spot right here.
Yeah, so you don't want to miss out on $20 because of a little bitty spot that would take one drop of fabric glue. Just put it on a little, I would put it on a toothpick and just kind of run it in there and squish
Okay.
it together and let it dry. Heidi,
Okay.
did you have another question? I saw your camera come on a minute ago.
Yes. Sorry, yes. I did have another question, but first I wanted to just say that, okay, I've lost it, but I have, here it is. I keep this handy, and if I see a hole that I can't get rid of, I just take a pair of scissors, put this note next to the hole, and I just close it. And when I see a pair of scissors in my photographs, when I go to list, I know I have a flaw. I go and find it, and I just disclose it, because a lot of the tags I get from Salvation Army leave those awful holes in the shoulder somewhere, and if it's noticeable, I just disclose it.
Yeah.
But the thing I just wanted to ask you guys, I got a bunch of these really vintage clothes from someone's mother. They think they're from the 30s, and they're in pretty good shape. And like, if you see this this one gown here. It's like size, I don't know, 0, but it's lace and handmade, or I don't, maybe it wasn't handmade. They didn't do tags back then. So
Right.
I just wondered, would I probably be better off trying to sell that on Etsy or someplace rather than, eBay? What do you think?
I
They're
would
also
do it.
heads.
No, you can sell it on eBay. It's long tail. It's not going to sell right away. And you will need to put good notes in there. So, of regular
Okay.
sizing, you're going to need to have a good understanding of like what that would fit, because that's tiny.
Yeah.
So that may be like a size 8 in vintage sizing, but it's like a size 2 in real sizing. You know what I'm saying? Actually,
Yeah.
that's probably a 0, but those look like 0 2s to me. Extra
Yeah.
small.
Okay. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
That was, thank you.
Yeah, there's kind of a mass exodus of Etsy again because people are mad. Julie, did you have a question? Or were you just commenting on the interface?
No, it's just the stitch witchery.
Oh, okay. All right. Just, yeah, I always put on my vintage clothes, if I I don't like doing vintage because it's a little bit too long tail for me. But put a disclaimer in there that vintage clothing runs much smaller usually than modern clothing. And so customer needs to look at their measurements. Just so if you get some younger woman who doesn't know that, but it's cute and she's into that cottagecore stuff, and it's the same stuff that was in the 70s and early 80s, that she understands that it's not a size 6 back then, is not a size 6 today. Bye, Sarah. All right. Any other questions? Are we done early? No way.
I have a question.
Okay.
So I know you don't like doing dresses, Michelle, but I was just wondering if you or anyone else has any tips on how to quickly photo long dresses, like the quickest way to do it. Obviously, I know it'll take a little extra time, and I'm okay with that because the ones I get tend to make more money. Just wondering if there's any quicker ways to do it.
I have
especially doing flat lace.
Oh, are you doing flat lace?
Yeah, I can't afford like a mannequin yet or anything like that.
Okay.
So
when you can,
and it's not my size.
A smooth non-pinnable torso hanging mannequin, no arms, no legs, are pretty quick when you can afford them. Almost as quick as flat lay. And those are nice for dresses because it fills out the top of them and then the bottom kind of flares out. Chris, do you have any ideas? Because you're more of a dress seller and you do flat lays. What were you doing with your flat lays on dresses? Are you still around? He was taking clothes off the shelves earlier. He might have left. I think he left us. I would do it. I would spread out the bottom if you can. On mine, I come out as far as I can on the long ones, and then I'll do a picture of the bottom hem as a separate picture. So I may do like 3/4 of the dress as my gallery photo, and then do another photo of that bottom hem so people can see it and see what it looks like. So if you can't fit it all into one picture, Ashley, I would do it in two. Just so
Yeah,
you've
that's
got-
what I did for the long dress I did the other day, which sold. That was my big sale yesterday. But like, I'm just looking because that took me a little extra time to do, and it was kind of a complicated dress as well. But like, obviously with more practice, I'll get better. Just wondering if anyone had any tips.
There's not any, especially with dress. I've been sending all of my dresses to ThredUp because I hate them. Not dresses specifically, but the gowns and like promi dresses and wedding dresses and things like that. I just have, I have a hatred for them because they're long and they're annoying. So
How much do you get with them on ThredUp?
no, not a lot, but it's better than nothing.
Like $10, $20?
It depends on the brand and how much they price them for. Sometimes it's only $2, but it's better than redonating them. So
Got it.
and they seem to sell okay over there. They're 8 weeks out though. So like when you send a bag into them, they're 8 weeks out to process it. Sometimes
Yeah,
longer.
I'm probably gonna just do it, list them myself for
Yeah.
now. But I was just wondering for the future if I decide to go that route.
If there's stuff that you guys don't want to sell, send it off to ThredUp. Like if you have a niche that you have some weird stuff in, but it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly sellable. Send it off to ThredUp and make some money versus redonating it. You might as well.
You could also try like the buy, sell, trade places. I've done that before when there was something I didn't want to sell, and they, without listing or photographing, we just give it to them and they give you some cash or store credit for it.
Exactly. Throw it out there. Always have a way to make your money back on it. So measurements I do on dresses, I put bust measurement, waist measurement, and length. Full length from shoulder to the bottom hem. Always put measurements on everything except for I don't put measurements in bras. That's the only thing.
Also, speaking of that, for skirts, should you just do waist length, no other measurements for that, right?
If I were going to do anything, I would put a hip measurement in there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
I do waist and length, and that seems to do for about 80% of my folks. I'm kind of on the edge of like adding back in a hip measurement just to cover myself. If it's a pleated skirt though, you can put like, if it's super flowy through the hip, I'll measure the waist and the length, and you can put the hip as like open. You can say open, which means, as big as you want.
So wait, so that's the item specific in features, the open thing.
No,
That's
no,
what
no,
that
no.
is?
I'm talking about in your measurements when you try to describe what the
Oh,
measurement
okay.
is.
What does that mean? The item specific for open?
That's usually in sweaters.
Oh, okay, got it.
So you've got open knit on sweaters, which means it's like the see-through knit. And then you've got open cardigan sweaters, which means they don't have any buttons. It's just like an open jacket. Okay. Any other questions? eBay, clothing, life in general. All right, we're gonna end it. Heidi, do you have a question? You always have one.
Of
last
course,
one.
I always have questions.
not about-
Okay,
It's not about a bird, is it? I'm
No,
Yeah,
it's
better not be about
I'm
that
giving you-
bird.
sorry,
giving you a hard-
I'm so sorry that I.
I'm giving you a hard time. I was taking Thomas's place while he's not here.
Y'all
Getting
don't want to. You don't want to get on my bad side again. I'll be yelling at you.
Okay, see this?
That's a shirt. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you
yes,
see the
yes.
design?
Uh-huh.
Okay, and then it says Three Kingdoms on the bottom, and it's the same thing on the back. So I have two questions. First one is, when you have this sort of kind of specifically shaped to the item design versus, you know, flowers here and there and whatnot, do you just, is that a feature that you talk about? Is there a way to describe that? Or no? That's the first question. Second question is, I couldn't find Canopy, this brand. I couldn't find any comps for this. And I want to say it's anime, but you know, if I can't find Three Kingdoms as an actual anime thing somewhere, is that potentially wrong? I mean, how would you describe?
Mitch in the chat just had a perfect keyword to,
All over graphic, all over graphic, all over print.
Okay, what was that? The other thing, the other keyword?
All over graphic. Or I would
Okay.
say I usually put it as an all over graphic print, which is a
Okay.
mixture of what Cheryl and Mitch just said.
Okay.
Cheryl says it looks like a gamer shirt to her.
It is a game.
And that does look
Total War.
Your camera's really blurry, so I'm not sure if it is anime or not.
It's a game. It's Total War Three Kingdoms.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Okay. So
just
gaming
Google
shirt.
it.
And then
yeah, that's not anime. That's actually Chinese descendant, which is Japanese is anime. That's actually Chinese there. Well, you would
Okay.
probably don't want to use that in the keyword, but that is.
what, Chinese?
Yeah, anime is always Japanese. Yeah, that's like that actually Cheryl is right. I think it's a guy, I think it's a old show too.
It's a video game, Total War Three Kingdoms. I'm looking at it.
So I think that's when when China first broke up, like way back, like broke up into 3 divisions. But now they just use that storyline for like stuff like games and stuff.
Okay. It's not single stitch, so it seems modern. Okay.
Yeah,
thank you.
that's a modern, yeah. And
Oh.
you can use the keyword a gamer in there too.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh. All right, last call. Anything else? Very good.
Another question I just thought of. When you have a dress or something that has like a lining underneath it, if there's a little stain on the lining that you can't get out, should you just disclose it? That shouldn't be a big deal, right?
It shouldn't be, no. And I would disclose it and say whether it shows from the outside or not. So like,
right,
if it, you know, like a small smudge on the lining doesn't show when wearing it all or something like that, or doesn't show from the outside.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Always disclose stains because it's better to disclose and have them in a knowing place than to have them get it and say there's a stain on this and then they're mad at you.
Yeah, I even use on my if I have a stain on a shirt that's got like a real busy pattern and you almost can't see it, I actually write as well. You know, I'll write stain wherever, front right, and but I'll put like hard to notice on busy pattern. You know, because sometimes it's hard to even show it. You know.
Yeah, sometimes that's how you miss it in the store is because your eye goes right over it. So it's like, I think there might be a stain on this, but I'm not sure. Look at Cheryl. Cheryl's our internet sleuth of video games now. Who knew? Who knew this was going to be a video game call?
Good old Google.
We love Google.
You can learn
Google
everything.
is your friend. Google is your friend for sizing too. Just don't use those standardized size charts unless you're just using them for international comparison. I cannot stress that enough. Everyone is trying to use them, and it's a terrible way to measure. Jari, I answered that a little while ago, but yeah, there is technically a difference between short and petite. Short means just short through the legs, and petite means short through the torso and the legs. But on eBay, they're kind of interchangeable. So I would call them, if it says 8S, which would be like an 8 short on a pair of pants, I would call it an 8 petite. I would call it an 8 short in the title, and then put petite in the title, and then spelled out petite, and then put 8 petite in the item specifics. Google can be your friend for searching anything. Just be sure which site you're going to. Well, yeah. Especially when you do bras, you'll end up on some like little risque sites. Cheryl's
Not
like,
so far.
stay away from anything that says Pornhub, and you're good.
No comment.
Stay off the Pornhub. That's not your friend.
My fastest selling shirts are anything that cater to gay men. They love those see-through fishnetty,
Oh yeah,
silvery, like,
club shirts.
yeah, club shirts. They love them.
I always call those club shirts in the title because they love that stuff.
Yeah, if I could sell.
There's
coaches-
also, I was just gonna say, there's also in the theme category, there's also a club kit or something like that, a club theme keyword.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if I could sell to just the gay men, like if I knew what they all bought, like that section, it sells really well.
So basically they dress like my dad in the 80s on the beach.
Pretty much, yeah.
Cut
Patty,
off.
we gotta have a
No,
conversation.
okay, so but my son embraces his feminine side, but he's not gay. But he loves a good sequin. He loves women. He does wear women's clothes quite often. So it's not just gay men anymore, guys.
Is he an artist?
Yeah, he's a graphic designer. But like on New Year's Eve, he'll deck it out. He has a friend that's flamboyant, let's say. And so he'll go and raid his closet and find all the sparkles because he wants to look pretty on New Year's Eve.
Some girls are into that kind of look, so I mean, it could definitely attract some people.
No,
I'm into it, so it works for me.
He's got a very serious girlfriend. He dresses well. He's definitely he's definitely an artist, and he's creative and doesn't have any issues with what anybody thinks of him. So
As long as I have a unicorn riding a flamingo, I'm not allowed to say anything on this.
exactly. With that beard,
Yeah.
JD's our big bear.
Gay men do love me.
I bet. Anywhere in the vicinity. They'd be like, ooh. I know what a beard is, Cheryl. Oh, you're terrible. You are terrible.
On again. Yay!
My goodness. You're going to be in timeout. We're so inappropriate on this call.
It's why I
you
can
and
always
Dawn.
make it.
It's you and Dawn.
What did I miss? Oh my gosh, I feel like I missed all the fun. What
And I'm
happened?
usually the totally quiet one. I usually don't say much on any call.
You
Did
didn't
you get
say
to the
much on
women's
this
call?
call
Then
either.
you get to the women's call, and it's like all comes out.
Yeah.
They were calling JD a beard.
Oh. No, no, that is
Oh,
not
I thought,
what I said.
what were you saying?
I am not, no, this is recorded. No,
I'm not even good. Denise says I don't even come to this call. She doesn't even sell clothes anymore. You just show up because it's entertainment. Yeah, I think we have a few people here that come here for the entertainment. Because we're insane. All right. We're ending. Anything? Oh, Aaron. Okay, Aaron, do you have a real question or is it?
Yeah,
Well,
sorry, I got you at the buzzer. I
sparkles.
just logged in right now. So
Oh no, you're good.
yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to extend the call any longer. But
No,
I
you're
just
fine.
been getting a lot of women's like leggings and workout pants and stuff like that. And
Yep.
a lot of them are like capri length.
Yep.
And I noticed that some of the inseams are shorter than what the eBay drop down provides.
Yep.
I know that we're advised to not input anything that's not in the drop down menu, but I just kind of have been typing out, like, I think it goes 20 to lowest, but like a lot of them are like 18, 19 inches. I've just
Right.
been putting 18, 19 inches just because I figured the buyer might miss the photos and want to see
Yeah.
the inseam. Do you advise that, or do you advise to skip it
Yes.
as like Tech always advises?
In that case, yeah. So like if you have a brand that doesn't show up in the drop down menu, that often happens. That's one time that you would type in the brand. And then the inseams, I type them in. Yeah. Those are
Okay,
things.
cool. Just making sure. And then real quick, I've noticed doing the category search with leggings, I've noticed that activewear pants seems to be what eBay sends us to, even though leggings is a category. What's your thoughts on that?
Activewear pants are for activewear pants, leggings are for leggings. So there's a little bit of a difference. If
Okay.
they're activewear, they're that performance knit, compression, that polyester kind of feeling. Whereas leggings are just cotton jersey knit.
Okay, so like
Usually.
I have a bunch of like Lululemon like workout pants.
Those are activewear.
Okay, because I see a lot of people putting leggings in the title. I have been putting legging in the title. Is
Yeah.
that technically incorrect?
No, that's still correct. They're still
Okay,
leggings.
okay.
They're just not in the leggings category because they're activewear. So they're meant for
Oh.
exercise
Gotcha.
versus
like-
lounging around on your couch kind of leggings are made of like just jersey t-shirt material
Gotcha.
where there's
More
not
like
a whole lot of compression, there's not a whole lot of spandex or hold to them, whereas activewear leggings are going to have they're a little bit firmer, whereas they're going to move with you.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Like kind of more t-shirt material where like you're not going to work out in them would be leggings.
Yeah, I mean, you could work out in them, but probably you're not gonna. Yeah,
Not the best.
well, and it feels better on your muscles to have a little bit of compression. So the
For
ones
sure.
with a little bit more spandex in them are going to be more compression ones, where your leggings are going to be just fitted, or like your LuLaRoe leggings. Those aren't meant for activewear. They're like super soft. They're meant for being on the couch.
So they do have workout pants.
Yeah. Does LuLaRoe have workout pants now?
They have for years.
I did
So
not.
like,
hear
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna ask, did I hear you once say that fabric type was microfiber, Michelle? The stretchier one that's not like the jersey knit?
It's not jersey knit.
No, like did I hear you tell somebody one day the like the Nike Dry Fit shirts? They're kind of similar to the Lululemon active pants. Is that considered
No, those-
microfiber?
No, those are I just call those performance knits.
Okay. I might just
Most
misheard
guys,
you one day.
most guys know that as like a performance wear versus or an active wear or active performance, meaning that smooth, silky, like a polo shirt. Because they're going to look for performance wear, they're going to look for active wear when they're looking for that kind of a polo shirt versus like a cotton or a peak polo shirt. A lot of guys are moving over to that kind of a performance fabric because it makes their nipples chafe if they're wearing the cotton when they're golfing or doing active wear, running and things like that. You'll see a lot of runners that will not wear cotton shirts because it by the end of their run, if they're long distance runners, they have bloody nipples. I know, it's weird. I know. Did you have a question?
Oh,
Yes,
one note. Sorry, can I just one note on the cotton? Another reason they don't wear it is because cotton absorbs wetness really well, so that if when you're working out, like the wetness is not gonna evaporate fast. It's gonna be like hold you down and like be very uncomfortable.
Yeah. All right, Anna, go ahead.
I'm not sure if you cover this, I was in and out, but if I have a clothing that's a number size for women's specifically, like let's say it's a size 4, should I put small into the title?
If they're, no, I wouldn't.
Okay, so you think someone that, because if I'm searching for a size, I usually use small, medium, or large. I don't necessarily search by, size 6 or size 4.
Right.
So you think just whatever the size is, just put either it's small or it's a size 4.
You can if you have room, like it's not going to hurt anything. If it's a shirt, it might behoove you to put like a size designation of a small, medium, or large in there, based on the number size, because number sizes in shirts are pretty rare in women's. If it's pants, then definitely not. It's unnecessary because women like numbers for their pants and they like letters for their shirts.
It depends if it's like a stretchy kind of pant. Sometimes there's like a medium or large or whatever on it.
There's exceptions to every rule, Ashley. Always, definitely. All right, Nick, what's your question?
I've been buying more new tag palettes. I know Tech talked about North Face. We'll pull stuff if it's listed as new tags, so we should list it as pre-owned.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't show up on the Vera list. Do you know which brands I should be scared of with new tags? Or should that just be a general rule, is to list in excellent use condition for
if you want to be super safe, then I would just list everything as used and take a picture of the tag, like maybe your second shot. So it shows up like all over the place. So it shows up that it's brand new with tags, but you're saying that it's pre-owned. Don't ever use new other, because no one searches by new other. But the brands that I've seen have problems are the ones like Patagonia, North Face. Those are the ones that have lifetime guarantees that you can't give them. And then your White House Black Market, Arc'teryx, the ones with the lifetime guarantees, all those active wear, Levi's, definitely, because you cannot sell new Levi's overseas.
Does it show up as a Vero, or what is it, or do they just pull it? The Vero.
And those last for a year, regardless of those Veros hang on for a year. So if you get too many pulled, it's a big deal. Like if they go in and pull 3 or 4 of them, then you have like 4 Veros on your account for a whole year, and that sucks.
I get quite a bit of outdoor wear, so I'll maybe be careful with that.
Yeah, so anything that has a lifetime guarantee, if you want to be super safe, then just list everything as pre-owned in excellent condition, and then just make your second photo of the new tags.
Thanks.
And Cheryl wants the name of your store because I'm thinking she wants to shop. You should be able to claim the same. I would price them the same as I would with new. Nick.
Yeah,
So-
that's typically what I do.
Yeah.
Especially Patagonia and Arc'teryx.
Oh, definitely. Okay.
We're getting
Anyone?
terribly close to being able to open an Arc'teryx store out of our closet.
I love that brand. It's one of my very
It's
favorites.
phenomenal. We love it.
I just think it's so funny because like I used to know that brand because I was into like hiking and that kind of thing, and that they're always recommended for like colder weather type stuff. And now like it's a thing, and like it's super famous and for both like fashion and functionality.
Oh, we do hiking. That's how I know it. I didn't know it was the other
I
stuff.
love it when people that don't hike wear the Arc'teryx. Like Chris was wearing an Arc'teryx jacket he has worn one for years. In his little videos, it's pretty funny. I don't think he hikes a whole lot. He may. I know he's a runner, so.
There's this new fashion trend related to outdoor stuff. It's called Gortcore. So that's more of the like wearing that like hiking type stuff as like fashion versus just for hiking.
Yeah.
Like, so you can use that as a keyword if you want. I don't know if it's very popular on eBay. That's more of a Depop kind of thing. I just hear it on the TikTok.
Question. Heidi, you're up again.
Hand up, Ina had her hand up, or Ina. So I thought I wouldn't be next.
No, she asked her question. I think she just didn't.
Oh, okay. So, I went to list these last week. These are women's pants, really skinny. And I decided not to list them because I couldn't figure out how to describe this weird texturing thing going on. Can you guys see that?
Yeah, I would just call them textured. Is it embroidered or just puckery?
It feels like it was pressed into it actually, if you look really closely, there's signs of lace. I'm sorry, I don't have steady hands, so I can't hold it.
No, you're okay. Yeah, I would just say textured.
Textured, okay, thanks.
Yeah. Those look like Pilcro pants.
Another's like crushed velvet. Is there such thing as crushed denim?
Exactly.
I don't think so.
Good question. Good question.
Ina, did you have one last question or was that already answered? Your hand is still up. I wasn't sure if we answered your question.
I was saving this for next week, but I'll ask it now. This is obviously a Western shirt, Eli somebody.
Yep.
And when you see these buttons, are they pearl snap, even if it's obviously plastic and not pearl?
No.
If it's got that shiny
just-
bit in the middle, or how do you describe them?
Only if they're pearlized, like they're like if they've got that iridescent quality to them. I mean, they're
Okay,
not going to be
great.
real pearls from the bottom of the sea, but they're going to all be plastic. But if they're not iridescent, then I just put snap button.
Thank you.
Pearl snaps are mother of pearl in my.
Yeah.
Okay, so if it's iridescent and like a marble effect, you would still say snaps. It's not pearl snaps unless it's got that pearlescence white look, right? So a black pearl would not count as a pearl
No,
snap?
mother of pearl comes in different colors.
Yeah.
So it can be different colors as long as it's that, like, they come in like a wave or Just look at pictures of mother of pearl online in jewelry. You'll see them in different colors. There's blues, there's pinks, they can dye them.
Okay, but it needs to have, it can't be matte like these are, right? It's gotta have that
Yeah,
pearl.
no, that's just a
No.
snap button.
Yeah, okay.
Flat
But
black.
that brand will sell alone just by, and then was it embroidered?
Yeah.
So
The embroidered
put it
roses on there.
embroidered and vintage, it'll sell real quick. And Brian sells those. He's an expert if you have questions.
Who?
Brian.
Oh, which Brian?
In the group.
In the group, the one that does the Monday night book call. He's an expert in Western shirts.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you.
I didn't know he was an expert in Western.
Brian Vent.
Yeah,
That's
that was his category for a long time before he does shoes.
Okay.
That identical shirt was in my closet for about 10 years before I sold it. I went through like an
Really?
old, like retro Western phase. That's hilarious. Same brand and everything. You open it. I knew when you held it
You're
up.
like, that's an Eli Cattleman.
Dude, I swear to God, I had that same shirt for probably 10 years in my closet.
It's so good.
That's where
Okay,
you go
good.
up.
Then I won't list it yet. I'll wait. Okay.
I've noticed.
I
when
asked
find
about
them-
Isaiah's calculator thing before, and then I lost my connection. So I don't know if anyone answered. Does anyone know the hashtag to find Isaiah's calculator?
You can just look him up on the group, and if you click on his name, it'll pull up all of the things that he's posted in the most recent.
Yeah, he's
like
got a lot of
every-
posts.
If he's
You can
posted-
filter it on the computer, at least you can filter and say post by, like search for Isaiah, and then you put post by Isaiah and then most recent.
Yeah.
It wasn't recent though. That's why it was months ago.
We'll just ask him. He'll find it for you.
Okay.
He'll be back on later.
I've got more questions.
All right, you get one more.
Okay. I found these shirts, and to me, they remind me of like a Filipino type of shirt, but there's no tags other than the size. And
Are they men's?
I'm sorry?
Are they men? I can't see the.
They're
are
men's.
They
Are
they button?
They have pockets down by the hips. and
Those
they're
are
buttoned.
Guayaberas.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, can you
So
spell that for me?
What is it? GU.
Yeah, I'll send it right now in the chat.
Thank
Thank you.
you. I always have to look that up. I know what they're called, but I can't remember how it's spelled.
Okay, thank you. Why-
It's kind of a Cuban style.
Oh, okay.
They-
not
like
Filipino.
Cuban party style. But
Yeah,
guys
all
that
Latin
wear it
Americans
is
wears
casual.
it.
Oh my gosh, I would have never found this Guayabera.
Guayabera, yeah.
So would it
Thank
be
you,
like
Cindy.
cigar smoking shirt?
No.
A real
like beach
Cuban
wedding.
cigar?
Cuban
It's like-
wedding.
Cuban, yeah, key wedding. If they're white, they're for the groom sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
The Yucatan in Mexico wears them too for weddings and parties as well.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so glad I asked.
It's kind of it originally was like a party shirt, and now it's more of just like a casual, loose. A lot of times you'll find those in linen.
And they'll wear them with linen pants normally. Rolled
Just
up.
kinda- It's a Miami style because Cuba, Miami, but
Hey,
This
Michelle,
stuff is
do
like-
you know any keywords or what the style dress is that right now it's in trend? They're rouged and then they usually are tiered long and they have like the long, they have the square necks and they have the long sleeves, usually like balloon sleeves. Do you know what I'm talking about?
ruched wear.
In the bust waist area, and then it goes it's a tiered type of dress. They have like They have rouging also in the sleeve, and then it'll go poofy and then rouged again. I hope I'm using
Like a
rouged the right way.
prairie dress type style.
Yes.
Okay, those are cottage core.
Okay. Okay, but there's not a particular, because right now they're like really trendy. And I
Cottage
don't know if
core
there's
is the keyword.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So those are you're gonna want to have cottage core in there, prairie dress. And they'll sell quickly. And then I just usually put them as like a mini, midi, or maxi.
I know it's probably not the best keyword to use, but it makes me think of like Western, like older Western style as well. I don't know if that's probably a great keyword for that. 'Cause I know Western's so distinct. But
They're in right now for the younger girls, and they will wear them with like that Western style boot. But cottage core is a better keyword than Western. If you have room, you can always put Western, or you can pick off Western in the feature. And then it'll be searchable. So that's if you want to put Western in the featured item specifics, that would be fine. All right, we have 4 minutes left before jewelry store call starts. So if you've got a last minute question, it is now the time to ask it.
I was going to touch real quick on what you said right there. That was smart. Like, go ahead and use cottage core in the title because you can use Western in the specific. And, you know, Tech was talking about the question that he respected.
nobody asked?
Aaron asked, knowing all your synonyms and which ones are in the specifics and which ones are not, so you can pull everybody, you know.
Once you know what all those features and themes and stuff are, like if you have a good idea in themes that there is a Western theme, you can put your theme as Western and put cottage core, which is not considered a theme yet, in your title, and then you've got both of them covered. Always cover your synonyms between your title and your searchable item specifics. But then there's some things that you want to double, like size. You always want to have that in your title because women will search for that. And if I don't see my size, I'm skipping over that listing. I try to look for my mail's here. Look at that. It's time to end the call, guys, because my mail's here and Linda's about to start. So
thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle.
Bye.